This week, the Eastmans Hunting TV crew is in search of trophy antelope bucks on the plains of southeastern Colorado. It's the tail end of the rut, and the bucks are busy covering territory in search of second cycle does. After looking over quite a few decent bucks in search of one to put John LaCorte on in the morning, this one caught our eye.
Well, folks, that is one beautiful buck. He's got 6.25 inch prongs that go straight out, just like this. You know, in my book, I have a whole section on how to field judge a buck antelope, and it's pretty hard to field judge out here, but this buck, he's got probably 6.5 inch bases, and he's got those 6.25 inch prongs that come out straight. If you notice just above his prongs, he's really long and curls over. So I think he's around 15.25 high, and above his prong, those circumferences are a little light. They're not real heavy. So that buck would probably be in the 81, 82 gross, probably net awards maybe, if we're lucky. But a really beautiful, beautiful buck. That is the type of buck we're looking for.
After thoroughly looking this buck over through the spotting scope, there's no doubt that we've found a shooter for John. Now all we can do is hope that the buck will stick around until the hunt begins in the morning. In the meantime, my brother Ike is on the way to the airport to pick up our guests, John Plaster of Savage Arms and John LaCorte of Nikon Sport Optics.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm John Plaster. Guy, how do you do?
Once everybody was settled into camp, we headed down to the rifle range where we were greeted by this tarantula.
Fire in the hole.
After sending a few rounds downrange, it was apparent that John's scope had survived the flight from the East Coast, and he was ready to head out in search of the big prong buck first thing in the morning. It wasn't long before John was looking at the first buck of the trip, as well as the first coyote, but so far, no sign of his big buck.
Two of them, one in front of the other.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Walk up there and eat that buck.
Oh, they have pretty red hides, don't they, the coyotes?
Yeah, they do.
Although these goats seem undisturbed by the predators, there still is no sign of the large prong buck that we turned up during our scouting mission the day before. Ike and John decide to keep moving, passing up on a few very respectable bucks in the process.
There he is, to the left. You see him?
Yeah.
Chasing him off.
Yeah, that could be him right there.
Finally, after peeking over one last rise, they turn up the buck John is looking for. He's bedded down in a dip, and the stalk is on.
that's an antelope tag filled.
I heard it hit. I saw him buckle. Did he go down?
Oh yeah. I could actually hear your heart.
You know what though?
Boom, 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 boom.
When that stops happening, it's time to take up golf or another sport.
Exactly. If you don't get it, if that's part of the deal,
Yeah.
the adrenaline rush. That
Wow.
is awesome.
Wow, he's huge. I'm gonna load this.
Congratulations on the shot.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you,
work.
guys.
Now that is what we call a trophy antelope.
Cool.
Yep. That is.
And for me, you know, having you come out here with Ike and with us, with the Eastmans, and really getting a great trophy. We passed up on 6 or 7 bucks today. One that would probably score 78, 70.
That one that was chasing the doe around.
Chasing
Yeah, that
the
looked
doe.
like a good buck.
But you know, just that's our deal. Is you just hone in on one particular buck. If you'd boogered him or something happened today or on this stock, we would have been on this buck for the next 2 or 3 days until he got in a position like this that you were able to harvest him.
Yeah.
Well, John, this is a heck of a buck. I appreciate you coming out, taking the time, and hunting antelope with us. Man, we've had a really fast morning, haven't we?
Well, Ike, it's been an incredible morning. We saw a ton of antelope, passed on a couple of good bucks, and we're fortunate enough to get in good range of this buck, and I'm sure proud of him.
Awesome buck. He's got huge diggers, some really pretty ivory tips, and he's even got a little cactus in his nose there. You know, the key to this antelope hunting is honing in on one goat and just make sure that, you know, you spend the time to find him and take him. You know, we passed up on a 78-inch goat this morning in order to get this 80 plus. We found him last night or yesterday, came in here this morning. He was in a perfect spot underneath this hill. We were able to stalk in about 500-600 yards. Stalk in, get in with 257 yards. John made a heck of a shot, took the air right out of him, and one shot, and that was it. Tags filled. It's like 9 o'clock.
Well, now you can really enjoy this country and work on getting your tag filled.
Yeah, now so on to mine, and well, let's get him cleaned up and get him on his way, get him to the meat processor before it gets 80-some degrees today.
Now that we've got John all tagged out, he has become our official gate opener for the remainder of the trip, as Ike tries to punch his tag on an 80-incher of his own.
Well, we spotted a real nice buck down here. It's starting to get towards the middle of the day, and so the heat waves are starting to get bad. So you never know. One of those things with heat waves is it'll make a buck look bigger than it really is. So you kind of got to get close. So let's go get close. Well, that's a good buck. It took us a while to get on him, you know, to where we could actually judge him. I think we're gonna back out of here and kind of leave these guys as is and go see if, maybe grab some lunch, but I don't want to booger these guys too much, you know, undue stress, so.
The sun has barely risen on the second morning of the hunt, and Ike has already located a great buck, one that the Eastman family is all too familiar with. 2 years prior, Ike's sister-in-law, Renda, spent a week chasing this buck, and now Ike has a shot at redemption.
Clipping along down the road, and here's the antelope. So we're gonna go put a stock on him and see if what we can do.
This buck is on the move running his does, but luckily Ike has a pretty good idea of where they're headed and how to get in front of them.
I think what we'll do is we'll sneak up to sneak
It's a dead goat. Yeah! Holy cow, look at that toad. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Jiminy Christmas. Got huge third measurements. You know, this is an awesome buck, just an awesome buck. He's almost 15, or he's probably 15 and a half. He's got huge bases, nice prongs. His fourth measurement, or third measurement here is just absolutely stunning. But this is an awesome antelope, and to be able to take an antelope that one of my family's been hunting for the last 3 years. My sister-in-law, Brenda, hunted him 3 years ago and just couldn't get the stars to align to take him. My brother hunted him last year and just couldn't get the stars to align. And I just focused in on him all day. We made 6 other stalks in order to take him. I did shoot him at only 80 yards, but that's, you know, it just worked out that way. I was able to get ahead of them, in front of them. They didn't, and over a little rise, and they didn't know we were there. And we were able to stalk him. He's just a beautiful goat. This has just been an awesome experience. We looked at a ton of antelope, saw a bunch of coyotes. You know, this is just a lot of fun down here. Remember, fair chase is the only way to hunt and take trophy big game. We'll see you next week on Eastman's Hunting TV.